Okay, so this is an LLM-driven conversational avatar for the MetaQuest 3. The theme was enhancing realism in VR with AI, so I built Bram here, B-R-A-M, the keeper of a fantasy tavern, which you can see here. It's pretty bare bones, but it is what it is. So you can actually talk to Bram with your voice, and then he will respond out loud with fitting gestures. So I'll show you that, and then I'll explain how it works. So let's start with, hello there, who are you? Oop. So you can see him thinking there.
Welcome. I'm Bram, the lively keeper of this fine tavern, here to quench your thirst and share a tale or two.
So what I do is I hold the trigger, the right trigger to talk, and I release to send my voice. That's the push to talk voice interface. And notice the status changed when he was listening and then when he was thinking. So while it processes, he has a thinking animation just to like cover up that latency. And then he waved to greet us, to greet me. I didn't script that gesture. The language model actually chose it based on his response and my prompt. It was the most fitting gesture. And the subtitles will show both what I said and his reply and the state when he has like an active state that's not just idling. So under the hood, it's a decoupled system. The headset is a thin client. It captures my voice and then plays the response of the avatar, obviously. All the AI runs on a Python backend, which is my server.py script. So it's on this laptop here. I built it originally on my desktop, which ran much faster, running the large language model locally. So there was less latency, like noticeably less latency. I had to increase the timeout duration, but it still works on a regular laptop. Each turn is a 3-stage pipeline. So we have speech to text, where the headset microphone captures my speech and then turns it into text. Then a language model that returns both the spoken reply and an animation choice as structured JSON output. And then there's text to speech, which turns that spoken reply into a WAV file. That structured output is the trick that lets the model drive his body language, not just his words. So when I say something like, where can I find a quest around here? You can see he's thinking. Speaking.
Brave adventurer. You might seek out old Mabel at the village square. She's always in need of a daring soul for her peculiar errands.
So he'll stay as in character as the innkeeper. So that persona is defined in the back end as a system prompt, and I haven't been able to make him break character yet. I'm sure it's possible with enough prompting. And he pointed to give us directions, not to anywhere in particular, but like the LLM animation just says point. So, it just seems more realistic. He also remembers the conversation, so I can follow up and ask him like about the quest if I wanted to, and he'll come up with a quest for us. So we can say something like, here, let me go behind the bar so we can see him a little bit better and we can hear him a little bit better. So tell me something funny about the last adventurer who came through. So he's thinking.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. The last chap thought he could charm a dragon with a lute, only to be chased up a tree when it preferred sausages instead. Huh.
So that was his laughing animation. It was the different gesture. He laughed. And he's turning to face me, as you saw, when he speaks. With the tavern ambiance and lightings, like really selling the space. It makes him seem more alive. So he'll turn to face you every 2 or 3 seconds. You can change the settings. So he's not like constantly turning to face you when he's speaking. But when he speaks, he will turn to face you. And if you keep moving, every 2 or 3 seconds, he will keep looking at you. So like we can... just quickly as a demonstration of that, because he also has other gestures. So let's see if we can get him to nod. So here we'll say, is it safe to travel to the north? He'll think, and then he'll look over here.
Aye, the north holds
Oh,
many
he's
wonders,
nodding.
but beware of the
And then
frost
he
troll.
looks,
Travel with a good group and
and then
plenty
he
of warm
looks.
cloaks.
And when he stops talking, he stops looking at us. But you could see the nodding there. Yeah, and he also has like a shrugging gesture, just enough to like be a proof of concept. So a couple things I want to emphasize is, like, just for the complexity of all this, there's the push to talk voice via OpenXR. The only control needed is the right trigger. You do have all the other motion controls all set up though. You have the animation and audio, which is a Mixamo humanoid with idle, think, talk animation plus 5 gestures, bidirectional audio, which is the voice in, and the AI generated voice out, the LLM selected gestures. And you also have the decoupled Quest client with a fast API backend over HTTP, which does the speech to text to the LLM to the text to speech pipeline, structured output JSON, which maps speech to an avatar action, and there's also conversation memory. And then there's the dressed in lit tavern, which is got the ambient fireplace audio and the on-screen subtitles, and the avatar who turns to address you when he speaks. So that's the full loop. Voice in, the avatar thinks and answers out loud in character with matching body language. I tested it with a few users to tune comfort and gesture timing. If I kept going, the next steps would definitely be lip syncing, which would need an avatar with facial shapes, which this one doesn't have, I don't think. Also, it's more complex stuff than I was ready to get into on this short project. And also a barkeeping avatar to replace this one that like looks like he would run a tavern. I just needed something that would work. Not something that was... There was a lot of really strange looking Mixamo avatars that had all these extra parts and weird proportions. I wasn't sure that any of that would actually work for what I needed. And then streaming the audio to cut the response latency. And that's pretty much everything. Thank you very much for watching my presentation.